If you're applying to multiple banks and still getting denied, then this is probably why. You're not stacking funding, you're stacking denials. Because these underwriters behind the banks that you're applying for are the exact same. So I'm gonna actually just go straight into it, ladies and gents, to give you the reason why this is probably actually happening to you. So every time that you're applying for business credit, you're not applying to a bank. Please keep this in mind if you don't listen to anything else in this video. You're applying to an underwriting system, okay? An underwriting system. Here's the problem. Different banks use the same underwriters in most cases. So even if you apply to 3 banks, it might look like you only applied to one in their system and just tried 3 different times. And you know banks don't like that. You look thirsty after that. But hang on. Let me continue to explain. So let me give you the information when it goes to in-house underwriting. Now, don't get it twisted. Some banks do everything themselves. I'm not saying everybody has the same darn underwriter or something like that goes to the government. I'm not saying that at all right? That basically what that means is that your approval is based on your credit profile, how you're positioned on the application, and sometimes your relationship as well with that bank. And if you've been rocking with me for a while, I always talk about fractional reserve banking. But let me give you a few examples. Starting with number 1, Citizens Bank. I've talked about Citizens Bank a lot on this channel because they are very, very friendly about their decision. Now, just with the data points, Citizens Bank pulls from Equifax is in the making of this video. There's no external underwriting system, meaning that there's no third party, and they analyze your file internally. So that means they do everything literally in-house, all right? Another one is Fulton Bank. In-house decisions. I haven't even talked about them on my channel yet, but in-house decisions, more relationship driven, of course. So that means you have to do some type of fractional reserve banking. So typically you can influence the outcome when it comes to the right deposits and history with Fulton Bank and get a large limit of a $50,000 loan or anything of that nature. Another one, which is Wells Fargo, even on the personal or business side, they use their own internal risk model, meaning solid if you got good history, credit history, and a clean business credit profile as well, all right? So all 3 of these places that I just told you are all in-house. So when you apply, whether it's online or you apply in person, there is somebody in a Wells Fargo shirt or Fulton shirt or Citizen shirt or something like that that's actually going to review your information. So when you apply to these type of banks, you're working with a unique decision maker. That's actually good for the funding sequence because each bank is going to give you a fresh shot. So if you didn't do good with Citizens Bank, pulls Equifax, but your Wells Fargo over here pulls Experian, they're not going to know anything about the Equifax. It's all fresh. Everything is deleted. Now, here's where most business owners mess up. Some smaller banks and credit unions don't underwrite in-house, okay? They use external vendors and many of them use the same exact one. This is probably why you got denied, all right? Now with the first one I've talked about on my channel before, but it's kind of gonna make sense now. But the first one is Elan Financial Services. Underwrites for dozens. I'm talking about hundreds of regional banks and credit unions, just like US Bank, Regions Bank if you're in the South Division, and even more. Elan Financial is one of those financial systems that you literally cannot walk into an Elan Financial, but they back so many different places where when you try to apply for any of them, you'll see Elan Financial or something like that. I'm telling you. So just for the example, if you apply to US Bank and then next Regions Bank, and you got denied for one of them, you're gonna get denied for the other one. Just tell you just like that. But that's the first one. The next one is TCM Bank, all right? This is kind of known for a lot of people that really tries to utilize, data points and things of that nature. They're a back-end processor for hundreds of community banks. These are more so for the banks that are more online, like Coastal Bank. I can't think of the other one that's off the top of my head, but there was another bank that I remember that TCM Bank actually utilizes this as well. So if 2 banks in your city use TCM Bank, that's the same approval team behind each and every one, all right? So if you got approved for one, you might get approved for the other, or because you just got approved and then you go to another one Thursday, they're gonna say, we just gave you some money, we're gonna deny you. What are you doing? What's going on? Now, the third one is something I haven't heard too much about until I started actually researching, and it might be kind of low key, but the next one is card assets. This is used by a lot of credit unions on the smaller side. So you know that credit union where you only see one in your city, you don't see it nowhere else, they probably use credit assets. So again, if you apply to 2 different places that both use card assets, your file is gonna hit the same algorithm twice. It does not matter if they pull from Experian, the other one might pull from TransUnion or something like that. There's still a possibility that they're still going to check to see if you're in their system. And if you are, they're going to check the date and when you actually applied. So this is exactly why you need to make sure that you're doing your due diligence before you start applying, all right? You got to go deeper than just, oh yeah, they pull from Experian. Let me go ahead and apply there because I just pulled from Equifax. Come on, guys, come on, do better, do better. Because now with all of that, you're trying to wipe all your inquiries out of the way. You're also trying to make sure that you don't get any more. You got 4 inquiries on TransUnion. You're trying to make sure you pull from Equifax. You're still trying to figure out why you got denied. It's just a big mess. You don't want to go through all of this stuff, all right? So now that you understand, applying to 3 different banks doesn't matter if they all tie to the same backend, all right? So, you know, what should you actually do to counterbalance all of this? Here's how I actually do it for all of my clients inside the How to Credit Start program, because I try to make sure they don't have to go through any of these issues. First, we identify the underwriter relationships. Then we build you after that our patent Fund 5 sequence, mixing in-house and possible third-party banks the correct way. And then we prep your credit profile, business credit profile, and your documents so when you actually apply, you actually look fundable in every single angle, okay? And if you're generating even $2, $5, $10, $20, $100,000 per month and you're tired of getting denials, then I'm telling you now, it's not because of your income, it's because of your approach. And inside the program, I literally walk you through exactly how to stack approvals the right way and unlock 5 to 6 figures in funding without actually going and taking off any red flags. Because you don't really understand how vital that is, ladies and gents. The banks are tightening up each and every day. They're not trying to lend out. Sometimes they're not even trying to lend out to new LLCs. Sometimes they're looking for the seasoned LLCs and things. They're always looking for something to actually deny you with. I know everybody sees the Chase giving away $150,000, no doc funding and stuff like that. Guys, they watch these videos too. So you have to make sure that you're 100% ready. It's not about the hacks and the credit secrets and stuff like that. Guys, just set it up the right way. Or get with somebody that will set it up the right way, like me. Or even if you don't use me, you use somebody else. Just make sure your stuff is actually structured correctly and then go for the funding. You can't even just slap a lot of authorized users on your stuff no more. It's not 2013. They'll flag you as a CPN. So do you really want to go through that? Or do you want to go through a program that's going to show you every step of the way on what to do, get you the funding, and show you how to do it so in the future you can do the same exact thing? So what I want you to do right now, if that sounds good to you, is click the link below to book a strategy call with us. Let's get your credit and your business credit profile on track and get your applications stacked in with these banks so you can get that massive funding to scale your business. I want to thank you guys for stopping by. Now, I hope this made sense, and make sure you're not applying to all of the same banks and stop getting all these inquiries for no apparent reason, all right? And until next time, ladies and gents.